One. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rainmaker podcast. And we have absolutely one of my favorite people in the entire industry, and in fact, the entire world. We have Mr. Dave Whichard on. And today, this is going to be absolutely amazing. Dave, man, thank you so much for hopping on. Definitely appreciate you being able to share some time with us today.
Well, I don't know thank you for that introduction, man. To even to hear those words means a lot to me, first of all. And I remember the first time I met you, I felt the same way, like just talking, just connection. So your heart for God and for people, is natural. So I think anytime we have that kind of mindset aligned, it makes it easy to work together, pull for one another, that type of thing. So I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yeah, and on that note, it's just like one of those things where I can remember when we had the conversation. Right, I'm sitting here, and I got my daughter in the sling
Yeah.
on my chest, trying to have a conversation. I'm like, sorry, man, this is kind of real life for me right now. I got a new one, and you're like, no, man, it's fine. But I think that like I was just really trying to show like I'm really just here to help. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
based off of that, I've been working with a few folks that are some of your guys, and it's been great. Literally, some of the best people that I've known in the business have come from people that are connected with you. So that's absolutely amazing. But yeah, Dave, let's jump right in. Take me back to the beginning. How did you even get into business? What were you doing before this, and then how did you end up stepping foot into the life insurance business?
Well, I guess, go back to a young age in my early 20s. I was an athlete growing up and, just wanted to, I think that's a natural fit for sales in general. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I got into some network marketing, different things when I was in younger age and just aspired. I learned about residual income and things like that. I wanted to own my own business, wanted to be, you know, own something, didn't want to work for somebody else the rest of my life. And so at 27 years old, I was still searching and had moved to Roanoke, where I'm at now, and we were taking care of my grandmother, and I was just looking for something. I was in outside sales, selling. Well, I guess I was running, cell phones and things like that, and ran into an insurance company. It made sense to me, and I was already working hard anyway. I wasn't afraid of hard work. I remember them telling me, to be successful, you had to work, 40 hours a week. And I was like, okay, so what do I do with the other 40? Like, and then money, but like I was working two jobs outside of my main job or businesses. I was doing something to keep my wife home with the kids at the time, and I wasn't afraid of working. And so they had some awards. I went through those really quick and got promoted very quickly because I had made six figures at that time. That's what I wanted to be able to do at that young age. And you know. I did well there. Got promoted, I think, three times in like a year and a half. Moved twice during a year and a half with my family, and then I left that company, went to a different one just because I felt like the passion for that particular company wasn't there anymore. They didn't want to move me back when I needed to do something for my family, even though I moved for them. So anyway, it's just one of those deals. I'm very loyal, but at the same time, I expect a little bit in return. And so I went to a different company, and I was there 19 years.
Mm,
It was all supplemental insurance. So I was knocking on
yeah.
doors for a living. It was all cold calling, literally knocking on doors. Hey, talking to people about cancer, accidents, heart, stroke, things like that. It was not common for me to knock on, 30, 40, $50 a day and get
Mm.
in as you got better at it. I mean, obviously you didn't need that many, but we worked off referrals, things like that. I did, again, with that company, did real well. And, again, set records at that time, daily records, weekly records, monthly records, all that stuff, built some teams, did the same thing with that. Then I don't say you get complacent. It's just you kind of, when you're in a company that long, it's like, I don't say bored even. It's just like, what else is next, right? You've done it all, I guess, in some ways. I was making okay money. I never was hurting for anything. Moved a lot. I always wanted to, promote, be willing to move and do what I had to do. So I was there 19 years. And after that time, I was an agency owner there, got to the highest level there, did well. And I was just, man, I was looking. I wasn't sad. Something was missing. My people weren't making the money I was making.
Right.
The risk was higher at that situation. Comp was lower. All those things we talk about in the industry. And then I found where I was at. Family First Life. I looked at it and it made sense to me. I didn't know, but I jumped in with 2 feet and went to work myself and protected 100 families my first 3 months just in the field. Just I don't say messing around. I was just saying, hey, was this thing real? And then I went to convention in 2020, me and a few guys, and we came out of there and we were blessed to, I guess at that time, and probably still to this day, I'm not sure, from start to 8 months later, putting in, over 100,000 families in a month or whatever that number is. I don't even know how to equate that, as we talk about it, $1 million a month agency at that time in a month. I never imagined that. I mean, I came from a place where I was doing 1 million a year, like maybe,
Mm.
and so to even think that was possible was crazy to me. And then we went from two and three and so on. And we've had our ups and downs. I mean, that's part of it. I think anytime any you look at Kobe, even he was up a lot. So was
Yeah.
Jordan, but they also had their downs. They lost some games too. So at the end of the day, we just always trying to get better. So for me, I just wanted to. I just remember at a young age, man. I wanted to make an impact on people's lives, do what God had called me to do. Take care of my own family. But I felt like life insurance was one of those things, and insurance in general was I was helping people. I just wanted to help people, man. I wanted to leave a legacy, and I want to do something that mattered in life. And just a lot of things out there really don't. I mean, I want to do something that mattered. So that's what got me in this industry.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I mean, just getting on this call, I was super excited to kind of learn a little bit from you, just in leadership and those things. But let's go back to, the first 19 years, right? The practice company. And
Yeah.
so what was the first 30 days, first 60 days, first 90 days? I know you came out, when you switched to Family First Life and, caught lightning in a bottle. But what about that first initial run at the business? Green, kind of still wet behind the ears. What was that like for you?
Well, the first company I was with for about 18 months, almost 2 years.
Okay.
Then I was with another company for 19. But the first one was a big company. I won't say names, but anyway, and we just sold accident policies door to door. And, you know, there were certain levels you had to hit, and they had a thing called I'll just say Grand Diamond. That'll give you a tip, but if you know that company. But I did that in a very short period of time. I think the awards was like 26 weeks, and I did it in 19. You had to finish the awards, but I just did it as fast as I possibly human could because I couldn't get promoted until I did it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to be a district manager at that time. And so they had to really create a district. That's a true story. Just, 5 months in, 6 months in, and 7 months in, I was a district manager. I went to sales manager 2.5 months and district manager and, so on. Same thing. It's just, I always believe in doing things fast. Why wait? Like, I
Mm.
mean, I think everything that I've done in my life, it's just, if I'm going to go all in, I'm going all in. Like, I don't know any different. And
Gotcha.
so I did there, and I got promoted a couple of different times. And then, came back. So I think it was, dude, there's fear. I mean, I think you have faith over fear. There was just like when I'm going out, in a football game, like I wasn't scared, but you have to be honest. Like you have those butterflies in your stomach. I mean, sometimes people, I think they go away from that when really it's just excitement too. See, I think
Yeah.
people get for the first time. It's like, or they knock on a door for the first time. I remember this, like you could take a guy with PhDs and all the college education, dude, get him go out, knock on the door one time. All goes away. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't care where you're from, what your education is, dude. But if you can get good at it, you make a lot of money. And so I just knew that I had to take the effort and learn it. And I wasn't afraid. Like, knock on the door, you let me in, or you don't. Like, what am I going to do? Cry about it? No. And so that's what it was, man. It was just taking massive action in anything I did. So I think a lot of times when we're scared about something, it's really just taking the action. We can overcome that. Because I think the things we feel inside sometimes it is fear, but at the same time, it's also excitement. And people run from it thinking it's all.
Yes. Yeah. And to piggyback on that, I want to kind of share a little point on that, which is I talk to people all the time about the butterflies. The butterflies is an indication that you're getting outside of your comfort zone. And all growth is going to happen outside of your comfort zone. For example, did you have butterflies, the first time you rode a bike? Did you have the first time, you purchased your first car? Did you have it when you proposed to your partner? You probably knew she was going to say yes, but you still had butterflies, right? Did you have it when you started your first business? So again, those butterflies are going to be there, just like professional athletes before every single game where they're singing the Star Spangled Banner national anthem, right? You get those butterflies, but those butterflies should not be an indication to stop you from taking action, right? It should actually excite you like, okay, I'm going in the right direction because those butterflies mean that I'm getting outside my comfort zone and that I'm growing.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I don't talk to a lot of people that come right out the gates and just excel with salesmanship and selling insurance. Usually some people, they kind of bump their head a little bit. So where does that come from? How are you able to just, have immediate success with insurance so easily?
I don't know. I think I always say keep it simple and don't overthink it. I'm not, like I said, I didn't go to college. Now I did go to college later on at Liberty to learn more about God and things like that. 3 years. I did some of that while I was working, but ultimately I never considered myself overly intelligent or book smart or anything like that. But I wasn't afraid of hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe that if somebody could show me something, I picked it up really quick. Like I did, because I don't overthink it. Like if you say, "Well, the door is black," I'm not going to argue with you. It's black. Like if
Right.
it's white, white. Like so, if you tell me that a path to success is works one way, I'm not going to change it. I'm just
Right.
going to do times what you tell me to do. See,
Exactly.
and so like I remember I tell the story all the time, but like our first company, they'd tell us to give 10 demos in a day. That was a sales
10.
talk. My goal was 20. Because if 10 was working, 20 sure would. And I didn't always get to 20, but I wasn't going to settle for 10. When I got 12, 13, 14, 15, I was going to do more than the other person,
Right.
which allowed me, no matter what my skill level or how long I'd been there, I could outwork you. And I
Right.
remember that first company, Arturo, after probably 6 months in, I knew more about the business than a lot of people have been there 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
Why? Because I did more demos than they did. And I worked harder than they did. And I
Hmm.
worked way. And so the learning curve can be busted very quickly by action in my mind and overworking, outworking people. And
Yeah, 100%.
I did that everywhere. That's just what I believed, you know?
Yeah, I think Trey Honeycutt said that 1 hour in the field is for 20 in the classroom. I remember him saying that. So I thought that was pretty eye opening because, yeah, a lot of times, it's really just like the way you're going to learn is in doing, right? That's
Taking
where
it.
you're going to kind of cut your teeth. So, when you're working with new agents, right, and it's you're trying to figure out if somebody's going to make it in this business, right? There's a certain kind of recipe or a few things that you've seen from helping grow some top producers in your day. What are some of the key components of having a top producer, a player in this business?
Well, that's a good question. I, I'm not sure you know right off the get go, but I do think that somebody who's consistent and shows up every day, good attitude, not negative, being teachable and coachable, something we say, but are they really teachable and coachable? I think that people are teachable and coachable I'll take a guy that's hungry, young and hungry, willing to work hard, teachable and coachable over a guy with a lot of experience, think they know it all. Yet
Mm,
any day of the week. Because I can teach that guy how to outwork the other person. And it's simple numbers. I mean, you look at Kobe and Jordan, I use them as examples, but yes, they were great, no doubt. But they outworked everybody and they practiced harder than everybody. They showed up earlier than everybody. They took more shots than everybody and missed more. I mean, Coach missed more shots than anybody, but he's one of the greatest of all time.
mm-hmm.
So I look for the tenacity inside and the heart. I mean, I can't read it on everybody,
Right.
but it's little tests and stuff. But I just I try to tell them my story and just be as transparent as I can. And I don't think people really realize, how hard I'm willing to work. And
Yeah.
so I try to relay that to people. I don't know that everybody is willing to work that hard, and that's okay. But I just teach them by numbers. I think if they're willing to work the numbers, then they got a good shot for sure. And if they stay consistent. And the other thing is setting realistic goals. I mean, I always aimed high and knew if I aimed really, really high, then if I fell a little short, I'd still hit where I needed to be. And I think a lot of people set their goal on the minimums rather than the higher side because they're scared. And I'd rather shoot high than low. So I just try to teach them to aim high, but understand that never get too high, never get too low, and just stay
Mm.
even day in
Yeah,
and
that
day out.
makes sense. Yeah.
Consistent showing up every day is what wins.
Consistency of showing up every single day is what wins. Huh. Well, you said something that I hadn't heard before, so I want to ask you about that. You said that you share your story. And so you say you share your story with agents and you share with them how hard you're willing to work. And the reason why I thought I want to hear from you on that, like why is that important? Because I hadn't heard many people say that.
Well, I mean, when we came to where we're at now, take Todd and you take, some of the guys that are, with us now, they wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for that. And what I mean by that is I was willing to go out and work hard. I was willing to, show what I was doing from an activity standpoint as well as a monetary standpoint at the time. And so that's what attracted them. And then when they came here, it's like, well, okay, I'm over here. Now what do we do? Well, I would lead from the front. I believe that in building something. Now we can do it different ways. I mean, my work effort now might look different, but I want to be one of the first ones in the office, not the first, last one to leave if possible. Even to this day, showing my team that they don't question that. They don't question that I'm not going to work as hard or harder than they are. And
Mm,
so they listen better. They're teachable coach when there's a sense of respect there. Todd, they don't question my work ethic. They never would. And
mm.
and they did. I'm not sure what they're watching, but they know. They know the consistency, so it's easier to follow. I mean, look at Sean. Like, do you think I don't think he works hard? Yeah, I mean, I spent as much time with him in 21 as about anybody. And I remember, like, I was with him at 9 o'clock at night. Still being on the phones, and things like that. Both of us. And so I knew how hard we both worked. And so I guess it's just leading by example and knowing that you're in the fight every day. I would rather follow somebody like that than somebody's not. So
Yeah.
I want to be the guy where they can look at me and go, he's not working. I'm not, dude. I want to have fun with my family. I get that time and special time with my wife. But Arturo, really, I do. I was sharing this today. I wake up every day just like, what's God called me to do? And that's what He's called me to do is lead people to ultimately to Him. But I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be, but I do my best every day to try to affect the people around me in a positive way. And so one of the ways I can as a leader by leading from the front is working hard. It's like, going to war. When I remember playing football, and that was one of the coolest things is, walking down that tunnel with somebody, knowing I was going to take a hit for them or I was going to hit them. It's the same thing in this business. I mean, knowing Todd and Jerry and seeing those guys on the Zoom now, which is, I love that. Like we're on there and Mel's helping me with this today and just being a part of a team matters. But they're having fun watching me just be back in the game like I'm 12 again. Like I'm just
Yeah.
loving stuff. It's
And
great.
yeah, and that's impressive too because sometimes when you're the leader and you're in the you're players coach, but now you're yeah, like Udonis Haslam, right? Like he's a moral support. Sometimes when you get to your level, sometimes they just want to know if you still got it, Dave. They want to see if you still got it. You know what I'm saying? They in their mind is like, yeah, I know you built a big business, but Dave, this is different. I don't know if you can do this online, this telesales. I know you were in the home, dude. You were knocking on doors. I don't know if you can do this telesales game. You know what I mean? So the reason why I joke about that is because we do have a coaching called the Agent Accelerator program, but it's where Jerry, Todd, all of the top producers are on there, making dials separately on their own, and it's accountability for them, but it's also a place for agents in our program to come, right? If they want to get better, if they want to, increase the activity. So that's very important to let the viewers know about that group when you share that. But I got a
Yeah.
question about leadership because
Yeah.
I asked you about what makes a top A player for a life insurance agent? What makes a good leader? Like, what are the components of that? Because a lot of people that make a little bit of money, they hit this level. Like, I get to 30K, and now I want to start building an agency. And leadership is a thing that you have to go through in order to grow an agency. So I'm curious on what your philosophy is on leadership.
I mean, again, I think leading by example is a big one. I think showing your heart and caring for people. That's how I am. And whether it's right or wrong, they're going to get all of me from a heart standpoint, almost to a fault. Sometimes there's probably some better things I can do as a leader to hold people a little bit more accountable. I think I can be harder on people, maybe if that makes sense, a harder coach in some ways. But to me, I want to follow somebody that I care about. I want to follow somebody I know cares about me and my family. I want to follow somebody that I know if I turn my back, they got my back. We're in that fight together. So I hope that I wasn't that for my people. And so I hate our people because it's our team. It's our,
Yeah.
I never want to say Dave's team or my team. Velocity's our team. I always tell our team, it's like, I represent you guys. Like I just because my name's attached to it, that it's just, we're one team. Like it's our team. I wouldn't have gotten any success without Eric. I wouldn't have got any success without Ron and Todd and Jerry and all these guys. They're my they're brothers to me. I mean, I can go down a list of all the people. I don't leave anybody out, but I'm just saying all those people that we work with matter. And so I just hope they look at me and know that I care about them as much as I do, because I do. And I want them to win more than they even know. And I
Yeah.
think if I can convey that to them every day by my effort, my heart, what I say to them, then I think that's really what a leader is. I think it's somebody who is there consistent every day, there for them when they need to lend. I was on I won't say who, but I was on a call last night. I said, listen to a guy for 30 minutes. Like, and they don't want to hear it all. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I love you, bro. You know, I appreciate you. But sometimes people just need that. They just need to, I need it sometimes. That's the other thing about leadership. It can be lonely at times, but you got to reach up, not down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Don't,
for sure.
anyway.
Yeah, 100%. And so you said every day a lot. And so when growing the team, how many agents writing agents do you got right now?
We had, we had 1,500 write business last year, probably about 400 or so a month, give or take.
Nice. So again, qualifying that part of like building a big agency. And so what's kind of the cadence for coaching? Like is it once a week? Is it once a month? Is it every single day? What's kind of coaching structure for you and like where you're meeting with your guys, where you're leading from the front with that activity?
I think, you know, that's structure is important. For me, Arturo, that's been big for me. Whether I was an individual agent, was having the set time I was going to be in the office every day, having goals that I had to set every day for appointments and things. So it's no different as a leader. I think for me, it's having structure in place that allows me time with them. We actually have a launch call we do every day at 10 o'clock now, every single day. I'm on 90% of those, helping teach, train, whatever, and they're doing it too. And then we have a team call on Monday, same time. So those are structures are on my calendar. I know that every day at 10, we have a couple calls we do at 9 o'clock before that with with leaders, you know, and so we have that. So we do those prior to the call for an hour. So those are two communications a week that we have to prepare us for those calls, but also other things we're doing within the organization. Um, and then, you know, we're actually starting another part of that where that second call, we're going to split up between that leadership and then a next level of leadership. So I think you're always just trying to grow that next person to be a leader as well and teach them different sides of the business, you know, things like that. But the more structure we have in place, we're going to do a lock in here in March 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Then we're going to do lock in with people, and then we're going to schedule it down to where we're going to teach them how to recruit, and then we're going to phase it into another next level of leadership on Friday afternoon and Saturday as well. But I think it's just having things in place, structure. The simpler we can keep, I mean, Eric and I are always working together. He does more of the working part from the websites and different things like that. But I think just having a good team around you, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. So, I mean, it's just like a, you know, Super Bowl coach. I mean, Andy Reid's not winning a Super Bowl without Mahomes. Mahomes
Yeah.
is not winning without the line. I mean, that's the team I'm using because they won. Not I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm just saying, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. So the team that I have around me makes me a better person. And so the weaknesses I have, which I have a lot of them, uh, I try to get people that are good at other areas and try to help them, you know, use those strengths to help me be better. And hopefully I can give something to them every day too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been great. I learned a lot. I'm definitely gonna take some notes on when I watch this one again because I think, in regards to leadership, there's a couple of things that I've seen is that like being that servant leader and leading with the heart. When people know that you're 100% all in for them, then they're gonna go to bat for you, and they're gonna show up every single day. And even when you have those flaws and those things, when you lead with your heart, they understand that they're human, just like you, and you have your good days and your bad days. But again, like you said, showing up, you know, is the most important thing. So, Dave,
I do
man,
want
this is go
to,
ahead.
you know, if you're watching this, and I'm not saying it because he's on here, like I think I talked to him like about 18 months ago. My team, you know, I see my team, our team. I saw a lot of guys on our team that they were crushing it, and I was watching and trying to figure out, you know, what they're doing, and I figured it out, and you know, I took the time and what reached out to Arturo. But what I can tell you is what you're seeing is a genuine person, and I'm not saying because I'm on here. I'm saying it because I just know people's hearts. Yes, he has a business, but he's doing it because he wants to see people win. It just happens to pay him, you know, for what he does, and he's got a family, all that. But I want to say I appreciate you because I've seen changes in some of the guys, and I know if it wasn't for you, I'm not sure where they'd be right now. I really don't. It's made a difference in their lives. I see some excitement that I haven't seen in a while in some of them. It's made me excited. That's why I'm in it because I want to learn. I want to be able to teach it. But I'm excited about the partnership. I'm excited about where we're going, and you know, we're super excited to be a part of it for sure. I just want to say that to you. I'm grateful.
It means a lot. It really does, because I try my best to do that. So I definitely appreciate it, and don't take that lightly for sure. But again, you being the leader, so I appreciate you for entrusting your team to allow me to work with them. But again, like you said, and these guys having this excitement, it's a relationship. I try my best to have a relationship with all of my clients that I'm working with on and off the field, just making sure that we got a partnership that we can go to bat together, because we all win, more when we're together. So again, I learned so much from you, and I'm looking forward to learning many, many more things from you in leadership. Dave's been a pleasure. Definitely great to have you on the show.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.